really want your perspective on this, and I really do not want your politically correct response. Because it would do a disservice based on what we're going to discuss here. I don't know if you saw this podcast or not. It's been going viral with actor Clifton Powell. He was among other men discussing what's it called? What was saying about black men trusting black women. It was a round table, but this is very diverse. So it's talking about black women, but this is something that can be shared among others as well. So I just want you to get your perspective. So Fair Use Act of 1976 allows me to show this for educational research purposes, whatever that's the disclaimer is. So
right.
yeah. So this is from the Sister Strong Women of Color and the Conscious podcast. And so it was discussing, it kind of got in, Mr. Swift, just kind of give you a little backstory. I don't know if you saw the clip or not, but it was talking about patriarchy. It got into, and it kind of overused that in a sense about patriarchy and how we treat women. And it's a direct reflection of our culture, and and it goes into like slavery, and I just wish that they stop overusing the whole ancestry thing. This is just my opinion. They kind of overuse it to kind of rationalize their positions on certain things. So if you want me to whenever you want me to pause it, just let me know. I sped it up just a little bit so that way like I said, YouTube won't be tripping. So if you anytime you want to pause and share something, just let me know.
I'm 70 years old, so I come from a whole nother era than any of you Negroes is talking about. And what I've learned, and I'm not saying I'm right, I think everybody is right, because there's so many levels to this. But most of this was laid on our parents.
Yeah.
My father was born in 1915, and his parents were slaves. Well, his grandparents were slaves. So what I've learned is it's not your mother's fault, it's not your father's fault, it's not your fault. We were born into 450 years of post-slavery PTSD. I am 69, I'll be 70 in March. I've just learned how to love.
I'm gonna stop there, Mr. Swift. Now you see what I was talking about. It started, and this is like an hour into this discussion. So just kind of giving you a kind of a gist of how, and honestly, I expected this from, and I'm a fan of Mr. Powell. Shout out to him. No, nothing against him as a, overall, but it just kind of gears towards the way he reflects on, the ancestral aspect and using that as a means, as a means to kind of justify the way he has been moving about in his relationships and throughout his marriages and even his current relationship. And we'll get more into that, but I just wanted to kind of stop there and kind of get your take on that, because I just feel like just because you come from the OG, the OG status, doesn't make you wiser. Does it, it doesn't mean that you're exempt from accountability, because I think you're in a space where, within you and his age group, there's a lack of accountability when it comes to certain aspects of relationships and how you navigate around just people in general. So I just want to get your take on that, just based on that one little piece.
I'll say this to begin with. I think the term PTSD is vastly overused.
Yes.
Everybody today has anxiety and PTSD. I can share with you some PTSD. I lived through 3 fires. I've been married 4 times. I can share with you some PTSD.
Yes.
But at the same time, I could have, as we spoke about before, I could have continued to live the same way that my father lived. And God rest him, my dad was a wonderful person. He had a thought process that aligned with the time that he grew up. Doesn't mean that I had to continue to align with that same time. I know people, and I know people in my life still have that same mindset. Well,
Yes.
Dad did. I understand what Dad did. Maybe Dad did the things that Dad did taught us what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that part, I'm not going to speak too much in terms of culture, because I realize that culture does play a part in this. There's a part where, you know, a person's got to be hard all the time. But, you know, I've given up on that so long ago in my own life, and the fact that I just want to be me.
Absolutely.
And I want to be the best version of me for my kids, and the best version of me for my wife, and the best version of me for me. I don't want to wake up with an aspect that I woke up, I have to do this, or I have to be this way. I wake up next to my wife, we have a cup of coffee, I get her ready for her work day, I go on with my work day, and we move forward. And there's no thought or process of I have to be this way as a man.
Got it. Yeah, and well said. And I sped it up a little bit more, so you might hear them talk a little fast, sped up a little bit more. Yeah. And also, I don't want to take too much of your time, because I have a couple of more things we want to get into, but I definitely wanted to get into this. And actually, what you said just now is actually a perfect segue into, because that's part of this discussion, like part of this piece that I'm about to play right now. Yeah.
If you don't mind,
our parents know how to love.
I'm sorry.
Parents know how to love.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna move. For one, I gotta plug this device in. For two,
right. Okay.
Speaking of that, and I'm gonna reach back here. Part of what I do in that lifestyle that I talked about is I'm the only one in this house that cooks.
Oh God. Okay.
And not that Carrie can't cook, because she raised a whole family. I'm trying to get her away from that bright light there.
Well, that's good to know that you cook. That's good to know.
But Carrie raised a whole family. She's a fantastic wife and mother, and if you want to still use the old term, housewife.
Okay.
But I love to cook, and Carrie loves when I cook. So I'm gonna as we're talking, I'm gonna continue that process. So
are you still able to hear?
I'm sorry?
Are you still able to hear it? Why you do? Okay.
Keeping everything with me.
All right. Just let me know when you're ready for me to play it again.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay.
And if I could say anybody maybe had an edge, it was the women. That's why I celebrate Black women. I live with a psychiatrist, forensics detective, gangster, loving Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, who's just been patient with me to teach me how to love. But in closing on this, because I don't want to get too deep, I called my buddy, man. I said, I'm fucking up, bro, really bad. I'm fucking up. So I never been monogamous. So I don't fucking know
what age did you become a monogamous?
Today. No, but let me say what it is. And we don't talk about this. We don't talk about dopamine being in the pleasure center of the brain like we talked about oxytocin is the hormone. It's called the cuddle hormone. So a lot of times we're just talking in generalities. And that's why I think what you said about counseling, because a counselor is going to get inside of this from a real, not even white people perspective, just from a scientific perspective, unless science is not wrong and the brain is not made with it. So when I hurt my girl, which I've done over and over, and I commend her for even being with me, and I said it in my podcast, and I'm going to say this and stop. I call one of my partners who's brilliant. He said, when you hurt somebody, where you leave them is where they stay. So I think our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, the people that raised us, those men who treated the women outside the house nice, but then put the thumb on the grandmama and put the thumb on the girlfriend or whoever, they are all, it all comes from out of all of that. And I think that's what makes me excited that we're going to bring the women and the uncles and we need to bring them all in here. But go ahead.
The one thing that I just want to talk about in Luke, make sure I say it anyway, this part out. Okay. What Luke brought up was like accountability. Like, yes, we can talk about, what our families did to us, all this, all that. But eventually, and I know white people try and say this, and I really don't like that, but eventually comes a point where you have to decide, how do I want to live my life? I haven't talked to my daddy in 6 years. I don't give a fuck about what my family has gone through. I know where I will go. So it's like, you can only say that for so long. Black women are tired. And, kind of like putting onto them like, hey, like, you didn't do this entirely. Because everybody in here, several people have talked about like, going to counseling. Have that upon yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to tell you what you need to do. Take that upon yourself.
And that's where it really got heated. It led up to the heated, but I just wanted to stop it there, Mr. Swift, because what the young guy was saying was that, well, a lot of us say, like, why does it have to take you to show you the blueprint, especially when you're so you're supposed to be so experienced and be able to learn certain life lessons already. And so what Clifton Powell was saying was that, he just started to learn, or he started to step up now. But then it seemed like that's what it seems like that tends to happen when they reach 50s, 60s, 70s, when they feel like they're, I mean, no shade to the men, but just in general, like when they feel like they become older and less desirable, or they're not as irresistible to women as they used to be. That's when they're ready to settle down. That's when now you want to rebound to a person like me, or rebound to someone. You're ready to settle down with me after after the fact. And it's like, why does it have to take, you to reach such a, why to take you to at such a later age to reach that plateau? So why do we have to give you, I mean, I understand giving each other tools, but there's just certain things like he was, Clifton Powell was saying on this discussion about, he just learned about it. He wasn't aware before. He didn't have the wherewithal. And I call BS on that, honestly.
Well, I think I'll say this in a couple ways. One, I think for a number of people, so I never really want to or specify and say men, women, because it happens to all of us in one degree or another. It's invincibility. When you finally realize I'm not invincible. I'm not going to be here forever, and I can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, because if I keep doing it, at some point, I'm just going to be alone. And when that alone taps you on the shoulder, that's when a lot of people start to say, oh, maybe I need to do something.
Yes.
And it takes therapy. Some people, it's counseling. I don't agree with him in the fact or the aspect that wherever you leave somebody, that's where they stay. No. A part of them brings that along with them, because if they're smart, they won't ever forget. They'll always have that with them. It's part of what, and if you've watched the movie that Carrie and I produced, Is It Real? It speaks to a lot of this.
Okay.
Because the base behind Is It Real, and I'll be in full disclosure, I didn't write it for this reason, but it came out this way. It's the beauty of being able to step back. It's life, but it's the beauty of being able to step back away from and looking at it from a different angle, through a different set of glasses. Is It Real? And I ask you to go watch if you haven't. It's on Tubi.
I will.
It's on Prime. Deals a lot with the things that we do in our life. How do they affect the people in our life? Not so much how they affect us, because we can internalize that, absorb it, go on with our lives, make excuses, justify whatever we want to do. But it's the things that you don't see. The things that your wife goes through when you're not there because she knows that you're off doing something crazy. The things that your husband goes through because you're not there and because you're off doing something crazy. The things that your parents went through because they had to hem you up, and how they had to internalize that. So that's a lot of that film deals with a lot of that. It's in a very specific way, but it does. If you look at it through that lens, it deals with a lot of that thing. I just don't buy into the aspect and the concept that, as I said, you have to be this way or that way, because a person can make a choice and make a decision. I'm going to settle in, and I'm going to be here, and I'm going to figure this thing out. And if this is the right place for me, if this person is right for me, if this life is right for me, if where I am is right for me, then it's going to stay and it'll be right for me. And I don't have to listen to what Jimmy says or little Ray says, or, I can listen to what I say. And it's that invincibility part. It's that part that says, I got to get this right, because I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
I got to get this right for a long time. I just kept getting it wrong until by the grace of God and this beautiful young lady getting ready to walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
So
So I'm gonna just play just a little bit more, due to
okay.
time. But this is where it really gets heated, so I need you to listen closely if you can.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Real quickly, for me, I didn't know fucking how.
Can I say one more thing? No, I have to say this because another thing that happens is too, you live your life for so long, and I'm not meaning no disrespect by this.
Right to say, bro.
But when you hit your 60s and your 70s, I want to be right.
Okay, but
I want to live my life right. I want someone to take care of me and protect me. And that's what a lot of women have issues
I'm living
with.
it right the fuck now.
As I said,
Listen,
I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say this.
Don't overtalk
I'm
me.
gonna fucking overtalk you.
I'm
because
good,
you're
but you're not gonna disrespect
me. You don't know what the fuck you're
Oh,
talking
I am.
about.
I do.
Love it.
I do.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, I know.
I do.
I do.
know it, nigga.
I do.
I'm good. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm living. You can't tell me what the fuck I'm living, nigga. I'm living it right now. You cannot fix no shit that you don't even know what's happening.
I think there's a misunderstanding.
No, but he's sounding like you can't. No, listen, bro. Let me stop. This is what it is. Let's get to the truth of this shit. You can't fix no shit unless you meet somebody who is on another level to help you elevate to understand. I'm not indicting anybody. I'm telling you what the shit is. You can't fix some shit that you don't know about, bro. You can't. And then you get there at 69 or 70 and say, I thought I was being loved all this time. That's what our parents have gone through, and that's why we all so fucked up right now.
You asked, how do we love black women? That's right here. Trust black women and listen to black women because they know more than we do what it is that they need.
I don't think that's true either.
As men,
there's a lot of black women who don't know how to love.
I'm not talking about what they know how to love. I'm saying what they need as far as the reproduction. We're talking about, that's what we're talking about right now. Also, if we're going to use our privilege and power as men in society, how do we show up and be accountable? Like you said, the way to be accountable is to dismantle patriarchy. Because patriarchy makes it so that men have the power and women do not.
But you can't get there unless you listen to him. We got to go, and you may not agree. We got to go to therapy. I should be in therapy right now. My girl should be in therapy. We all come from generations and generations, and you can't motherfucker sit here and tell me what I'm going through at 70. I just realized, but listen what I'm saying. Let's be good, bro. It's not gonna get out of control, but this is real shit. Bro, this is real shit. I'm telling you, you can't love a queen. Some of these girls out here in Queens because their daddies wasn't there. If your daddy ain't there from 12 to 25, you're going down a rabbit hole. Promiscuity, drugs. You gotta read more. You gotta stop getting so fucking defensive and read more, because I read. I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm living it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because I just wanted to kind of get into more of the meat and potatoes because there was a lot of emotions that that arose in that discussion. So yeah, and so because it got like more intense when Mr. Powell was talking about he was talking about how he wasn't aware. They didn't have the wherewithal, so he was kind of getting more into that. So but you was able to hear what was said about because I think it was adding more emphasis towards women, more men needing to understand more about the needs of the woman, trusting the woman, and it goes back to how women need to be protected. And I get all that too, but I feel like at the same time, I think we both men and women, when it comes to what we have to experience, we all have our issues. We all, both men and women, both sides, we're effed up in different ways. So I think that it's our responsibility to, have the ability to work on ourselves.
It is. It's our responsibility to work on ourselves, be ourselves. If I'll say this. There's another. I'll say it this way. Carrie is my queen. Carrie will be the first one to tell you that she's not a queen. So I always think that the person that walks into a relationship, friends relationship, work relationship, if someone comes in elevating themselves to a point that a person has no ability to achieve, you're fighting a losing battle to begin with.
Right.
Carrie, I've told Carrie that she's my queen more than Carrie has ever had this aspect of queendom.
Yeah, she's modest about it.
She's a human. In this whole idea that a woman needs to be protected, Carrie will tell you Carrie will beat the tar out of me. And I'm a second-degree black belt in martial arts. That woman is as tough as they come, as strong as they come, physically, emotionally, every aspect that it comes with. And those are the things that a person needs to elevate themselves to, is to be able to know that I have to be able to be a strong enough human being to match this person. And it's not about being a king or a queen. It's not about this title that someone bestows upon themselves. It's about the title that is bestowed upon you by the person that cares about you the most. And when you can match that and you can deal with that, then you guys rise and elevate together. If again, like you said, God bless the man and the issues that he's gone through and how he feels, and he's got to deal with that and his direction. But to have the idea that thought process came back all the way from 450 years,
Right.
I have
Yeah. Right.
of opinion.
Right, and that's why, and it goes into because I wanted to ask you about like your perspective on, because it kind of the discussion also got into the patriarchy of it all, and the logistics behind that, and so that's when it, the whole idea of the 450 years and what we experienced from our ancestors, and kind of a generational thing. So, and also, like I said, goes to the logic behind the patriarchy.
I'll always believe there's a matriarch and a patriarch. No one loves you like mom. No one ever loves you like mom, and that goes throughout history. And there's that part of it, and there's also the if you say it, the patriarchal part, the tough guy, the stern guy, the person that says this is the values.
Right.
I taught my son what I believe to be male values, but it wasn't an aspect of being a patriarch or a king or I'm the boss because I happen to have this particular piece of anatomy. No, there's those two different aspects in humanity, but it doesn't make someone above or over or less or under. And I also understand that there are relationships out there where someone expects you to be this big, strong, take charge, ride forward kind of thing. But you have to be able to be that person and be with the person that matches that kind of energy.
I agree.
It's the energy that you're looking at. It's not the fact that well, you're this or you're that. You're a soft person. You're a whatever. I could throw a bunch of expletives out there, and it's not necessary. Whoever you are as a person, you have to be able to match the energy of the person that you're with, that you want to be with. And when you find them, and you guys that energy matches, I'm living, breathing proof of it. I could have given up 2 marriages ago. I could have given up 2 fires ago. I could have.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm blessed. I have a fantastic relationship. I have a massively amazing wife. But I only have that because of the person that I am as well.
Yes.
I can't
has to be
without that. Those things have to go together, and that's what I mean by matching energy. You have to move together.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your perspective on that. I really do. I wanted to do a reaction video, but I said, you know what? Let me save this for Mr. Swift, because it's been going around lately. So I said, let me share this with Mr. Smith. I said that'd be a perfect discussion for him.
And I think your foresight in that, and not even knowing really a lot of my history, but your foresight in that, and the fact of what I've dealt with.
Yes, right. Yeah.
With Carrie, it leads into that, and it
does.
Every bit of completely strong feeling that this is why I feel the way I do.